What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about a topic near and dear to my heart, and that's what to do if you fail the NPTE. So, just one short year ago, I actually failed the NPTE and I had no idea what to do. I wasn't sure if I was going to retake the exam. I didn't know if I needed to stop studying, continue studying, enroll in a course, leave the profession. I had no idea. I felt lost and confused. And so my goal with this video is to give you a little bit more direction and get you back on the right path, because I know you're probably not feeling like you're in a great place right now. So I'm going to share my experience, what sorts of things worked for me. And then, like I said, we're going to get you in the right direction here shortly. So I still remember opening the FSBPT homepage back in July 27th, 2022. I raced home from my clinic, full of excitement and optimism, but instead, I was greeted with a big crimson red failed circle. I felt like I'd received the death sentence. My mind started to race, my vision became clouded, and tears began to roll down my face. I thought to myself, this can't be happening right now. How many times have I been told everybody passes, even if they feel like they failed? Did I just waste 3 years of my life? Do I even deserve to become a PT? And the list goes on and on and on. There's going to be a lot of thoughts going through your mind right now, and I want you to just stop wherever you are. Just stop. Just feel. Just rest. Wherever you are mentally right now, just stop and take a deep breath. I know exactly how you're feeling, and honestly, doing less is probably more at this point. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling and recognize this is a natural response. You just studied for months on end to prepare yourself for this moment. You came up a little bit short. I'd be more concerned, honestly, if you weren't feeling somewhat disappointed. This shows you care. However you're feeling right now, just know it's temporary. It's not going to last. I think we all have this tendency to over dramatize failure. So the point of this video is to help you see objectively what happened, realize what steps you need to take over the course of the next few weeks and months, and then do just that. Move forward, move on. So this video is going to be broken down into different segments. We're starting with day 0, where you're at right now. So if you're a little bit later in the process, feel free to fast forward ahead or jump in wherever you see fit. But day 0, experience the emotions. I just want you to feel everything you're feeling. Don't try and suppress, your anger, your frustration. Get it all out however you need to, whether that's working out, talking to someone, whatever you need to do. Don't bottle it up. And speaking of talking to people, you can tell family or trusted friends or keep it to yourself. I chose to keep it to myself just for a couple days as I could kind of grasp everything that happened, because once you've processed your own emotions, then you can do a better job kind of sharing what you're feeling and talking through that with others. Whereas if this just happened and you're really overwhelmed, sometimes having other people weigh in on their opinions, their thoughts on what you need to do or not do can be a little bit overwhelming. The next phase, days 0 to 23. This is a period to rest and refocus. Give yourself a little bit of a break. No textbooks, no studying. This might be hard to hear, but you're likely burnt out headed into the exam. So continuing to study for this next go around immediately is not going to be super helpful. Instead, take time away from the content to reset. And this ultimately is going to help you refocus to crush it the next time around. Once you get to the end of week 1, start to reflect on the exam experience itself. What went well? What didn't go well? How did you feel mentally during the process, both during the preparation as well as the actual exam? This mental exercise is going to bridge that gap between total rest and starting to transition to studying once again. Once you get to weeks 4 to 10, this is the time to recommit, refocus, and get ready to reattack that goal of becoming a physical therapist. So during weeks 4 to 10, you're going to create a study guide, giving yourself plenty of breaks and realizing you're not going to need to study quite as much as you did the first time around. And this schedule is really going to lay the groundwork for everything that's going to take place during this period. So make sure you spend a lot of time on this schedule and make sure it's very detailed. Next, start reviewing the content. Spend more time and effort on those areas of weakness. What you can do is buy the FSBPT score report. I think it's like $99, somewhere in that range. It's a little bit of a chunk of change, but at the same time, it's going to help you realize, how close were you to passing? Was it just a couple points, or were you way off and really need to relook at what you were doing as you prepared? Next, review all areas. Make sure you spend time with all the areas, including the ones you did well on. It's important that you're constantly keeping this information fresh, so don't totally overlook a section just because you killed it the first time around. But that does mean you can spend a little bit less time on it the second time around. Next, choose whether or not you're going to use a review course if you do choose to do one. There's a couple different options. One of them that I'm going to talk about is self-paced. The other is going to be a little bit more engaged and hands-on. So there's a company, it's called TrueLearn. This is a great entry point for that self-starter type of person who just needs a couple more questions, then wants some more guidance in the form of like videos to watch, just to tie all these concepts together. So I'm going to read you a little bit of a description from their website, and that should give us some more information. So TrueLearn, like I said, is a great entry point. It's helped over 40,000 PTs, OTs, med students. So they're a test prep company for people to pass boards, no matter what the profession. There's specifically for the NPTE, there's over 1,400 practice questions and high quality explanations available at your disposal. TrueLearn also utilizes smart analytics and spaced repetition to help you make the most out of your studying at a fraction of the cost of other test prep resources. And finally, TrueLearn is also integrated with Picmonic, which is an audiovisual learning system that integrates stories and characters to help all these complex topics stick as you study for the NPTE. The next option I'm going to talk about is the NPTE final exam. This is a 12-week program. It's $977, so a little bit more expensive, but this is going to include live trainings with recordings, meeting 3 times a week with a group of instructors as well as other individuals in the cohort. And then there's going to be a workbook to work through, guidance with the Telegram app. You can have a strategy call with one of the coaches. So this is a little bit more comprehensive if you feel like you need even more. This was something that I used the second time around, and I felt like it was very beneficial. But no, it's not the only option. There's also the Final Frontier, the PT Hustle group. So there's a lot of different options. Don't limit yourself to any one. Next, make any adjustments to study different strategies and execute your plan. So once you do make those strategy adjustments, all you need to do is follow through. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. As long as you have a really good plan outlined, all you have to do is follow it. Next, focusing on mindset, whether it's meditation, journaling, talking with someone, having an accountability buddy, someone who either passed the exam previously or someone who's still struggling to pass. Have as many people in your corner as you can. Staying positive during this crucial time is absolutely invaluable. You need to keep a positive mindset because there's going to be a lot of periods where you feel like, I don't know if I can go on. I've been studying for so long. I feel burnt out. Is it even worth it? All these thoughts are going to enter your mind. Having someone or something that's going to keep you grounded is going to be very, very valuable. Next, and finally, the home stretch. Give yourself every opportunity to succeed. Visit the test center ahead of time if that's an option. Go through your exam day plan at least 3 times through. What's your exam day plan? Well, that's what you eat. That's when you wake up. If you can practice that a couple times through, then when you take the exam again, it's just like clockwork. You've done it before. You've been there. And if you don't want to go all the way through, at least spend some time visualizing how you're going to move through that process. It'll do wonders in terms of putting you at ease. Next, hopefully you're able to schedule your exam at the time you test best, whether that's the morning or the afternoon. And what I really recommend is trying to register early. So you have most of your requirements down. You just need to register and pick the date. So do that as soon as possible. Next, trust yourself and the work you've put in. You've been studying so long for this exam. You've been studying for it while you were in PT school for 3 years. You were studying for it for however many weeks or months leading up to the first attempt, and you've just had another several weeks to study. You've put in the time. So now it's just going to be about trusting yourself, going out there, giving your best effort, not questioning yourself, going and crushing the exam, and then realizing you're a licensed doctor of physical therapy. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to talk more about my experience, what I used, what I would do differently. But this should give you a really good starting point of what to do now that you've realized you have this failed result and are ready to move forward.